answered it and you're off to something else.
Shut the F up, Dr. Pepper. Happy Married at First Sight finale and happy Thanksgiving to all. I hope you all are doing well. And when I tell you that the finale of Married at First Sight was nothing short of incredible, considering that we did have things that have never happened before, from decision day to the reunion, how do you think it ended? It was shocking. I will say that. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, yeah, sometimes in the thumbnail, sure. But really, shocking. Let's get right into it. Before we do that, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share with your friends. Let's see what we got going on. First, we have Jaylen and Josh. And the thing about Jaylen and Josh was they were the ones from the beginning that always seemed like they had it together. But did it translate into a long-term thing?
That lifestyle is to him and how much it's far from what I'm interested in, I think.
As you can see, she brings the whole Burning Man thing into the reunion. Now, she was a little over the top with it. But does he end up being over the top with it on the other end? And how does that translate into their long-term marriage, which, you know, that's kind of redundant. But either way, in this case, long-term marriage, considering it's very short-term in the beginning for 6 months or 2 months, I mean, and they typically don't last.
I have so much faith in like how we are able to communicate and move past difficult.
Really has confidence in how they're able to communicate. They did have some communication issues, so the cracks were kind of there.
Situations that I don't for 1 second think that we will ever come to a hurdle that we can't jump over and become stronger on the other end.
Now that's really nice. So he's basically saying we come to a hurdle, you know, we can get over it, we can get through it. Communication we're good at. I think he's being over exaggeration when it comes to that. But ultimately he chooses her, so that's good, right? But how does it look when it comes to where they are today?
I feel very lucky to have met you.
Yes.
So I would like to stay married to you.
Of course, I'd like to stay married to you. Now, that really wasn't shocking. That kind of was one I called from the beginning that they were going to choose each other on decision day. There's two different things, choosing each other on decision day and then getting into the real world and how that translates. So it'll be interesting when we get to the reunion and see where they are today, whether everything they said held up. Oh, carried her off into the sunset. Oh, that's nice. Nice. Side note, why the hell is Dr. Pepper there, who hasn't been present at all in this season except for the choosing period and now? Why is she, for one, why is she an expert on the show at all, considering she lives separately from her husband and tries to make it seem like she knows what she's talking about, which she doesn't? And then why is she here to begin with? She must have a contractual, or they must have a contract with her that she's like, you're going to use me, even if you don't use me throughout the episodes. Has to be something like that. Next, we have Pat and Rhonda. Now, they should not choose each other. They should not. They should run for the hills. They should say no. There should be no scenario where they say yes on decision day. She was absolutely horrible to him. She never let him get a word in, and he basically was a broken man by the end of it. But let's see how it turns out.
I have really sincerely appreciated him.
No, you haven't. You haven't at all. She hasn't appreciated him even a little bit. Every step of the way has been everything he's doing wrong. Does that mean that everything he did was right? No. Sure, communication can always be improved, but nothing was good enough for her. Everything was, you're not paying enough attention to me, while not really caring about him at all. She was awful and deserves to be alone. So this should be easy for both of them. She doesn't want to be with him anyway, and he should be running for the hills.
And I can tell Pat's in a totally different place because he has both his hands wrapped on his lap and his legs crossed, and he's leaning back.
Wow. She is awful. So she sat there. She sees, obviously he's, distant. I mean, anyone could read that. This doesn't take a body language reader to see he's distant. He should be. She has treated him like garbage the whole time. But to call that out before he has a chance to talk, to try to control the conversation, to get on top of things before he has a chance to say anything to make him look worse, is ridiculous. She basically says, I know what he's decided. In essence, he's decided he's not going to be with me because he's sitting there in a certain way, not giving him even a chance to address it. That is awful. It's a horrible thing to do, and it makes her a bad person. Maybe she's nice in a lot of moments in her life, but in this moment, she is a bad person and was throughout the season.
Is she right in that perception?
Yes.
100%. Ride with it. Ride it out. Do what you said right there, that she is accurate, that you don't want to hold her hand for eternity, basically, and leave. It's at this point, even though it's awful what she did, take it and run. Don't get roped back in. But what actually happens?
I do not trust that I will be seen and heard as my authentic self.
You won't, but he also sounds ridiculous. I need to be seen as my authentic self. Anytime someone says your authentic self, just be yourself. Why are you being your non-authentic self? Going into this trying to please everyone else was never going to end well for you. So you are at fault in that aspect. Doesn't change the fact that she was awful to you, but you should have been from the get-go like, I'm not playing this game. You should have walked away on the honeymoon when she did some of this crap. You should have been gone. So that's your fault, and you led yourself to this position of being in misery. But still, she's awful.
We're talking a lot about Pat and his emotional and how hard this has been on him.
Wow. She's got the gall to say, we've been talking a lot about Pat. Yes, because you brought up the fact that he was sitting a certain way. So then they promptly went to him and asked, is that true? You're not choosing her. And then they were talking to him. It was his turn to talk. And then you're going to say, basically, we're not talking enough about me. She's a see me, see me, see me person. It's incredible how much she has to be in the spotlight. To be someone in their 60s, to still act like there's someone in their 20s on TikTok or something like that, needing all the attention. That's insanity. Like, just be grandma. Be happy. Stop acting miserable because not everyone is paying attention to you 24/7.
Down and she says something and you think you've answered it and you're off to something else.
Shut the F up, Dr. Pepper. What the hell are you talking about? Trying to justify Rhonda's behavior by saying, maybe you thought you answered it, but it wasn't good enough for her. You live separately from your husband. Your opinion does not matter in this context. You have no idea what it is to be in a happy marriage. And yet here you are talking to people about what they need to do when you weren't even involved in the season. Go away. I hope this is her last contract. I really do. Because out of them three, she's awful. I actually kind of like Pastor Cal, like his personality, even though he makes bad decisions a lot of the time. And Dr. P has grown on me a bit just because she seems like a nice person, even though, again, she makes bad decisions too. Dr. Pepper is irrelevant. She should not be in this show. She should be gone. Fire her. Get someone else that maybe can read body language or something to get some better contestants in here.
Can we focus on the good that's in the relationship? Because whatever you focus on most, is what you're going to experience most.
This is bad, Dr. Cal. Like I said, like the guy personality, he seems like a nice guy, but expert-wise, yeah, bad idea. So now he sees it's gone in a bad direction. He knows that Pat has basically already made his decision. So how can we bring this back? Because we got to save the season after last year and the year before's catastrophic seasons. So what are we going to do? We're going to try to bring them back. So let's focus on the good. We can't focus on the negative because that's what you're going to just be all about. Let's focus on the good. This is them trying to bring things back to change the outcome. Does it work, though?
I just think I've been really, really frustrated with you.
Yes.
And my frustration pushes you away.
You're frustrated. No, your horrible attitude and how you treated him pushed him away. That's what it was. Not your frustration. You can be frustrated, but you act frustrated 24/7 and take it out on him like he never can do anything right.
And now I'm thinking, I was being too rigid.
No! No, good God, no. Pat, run for the hills. What are you doing? Don't have a psychotic break and go back. They've succeeded. The experts have succeeded in reformulating things to make him rethink his decision. Good God, the sorcery that's going on here.
I understand how that would be very destabilizing.
So basically she said, now I was in a certain place and now I'm not sure because of what he said. And now he's saying, I understand how that could be destabilizing to you. Basically taking fault for finally saying what was really on his mind, doing what he's done the whole season because he's a weak man. I could think it was awful how she treated him and still say Pat is a weak man. He has no backbone, no spine. Why are you letting this hippie lady walk all over you? It's insane.
I want to stay married.
Oh my gosh. Good Lord. Oh, and she's like, thank you, Lord. Oh my gosh. Now, on this aspect, I thought that she was going to then say no to take back the control, but she actually said yes. So she said yes to they're happily ever after. Does anyone think that they were going to last after this? Does anyone think that it was going to work with them the way she treated him, the way his weak self was just building up like someone putting anger in a jar inside of them until it overflows? Yeah. The reunion gets interesting. Now, Megan and Derek had an interesting dynamic because obviously she was pregnant. So, what happens to them? Do they choose each other on decision day or not? She definitely was more hard and more rigid with him until she got pregnant, then she softened up a little bit, so she became not quite as bad. But did that translate into a yes?
Children. I know you guys have had those conversations, right?
Yeah, so...
Yeah? What?
No one really knows.
Come on.
I'm pregnant.
What? Look at the face there. Are you telling me they're going to really act like they didn't know with cameras everywhere? I understand maybe they don't have a producer room where they have a producer watching 24/7, but they have people looking at footage periodically. You're going to tell me that these experts didn't know. I don't buy it for a second. They definitely knew. This whole thing is definitely is over-exaggerated a bit. But I will say this is the first time they've had a pregnancy on here, so it definitely is a first for sure. It was also a first for all 5 couples to consummate within like a day or two, so that's interesting as well.
I am choosing to stay married to you because
yes,
I can't imagine being away from you.
Well, that's nice. So she chose him, he chose her, they end up staying together. I wasn't sure about them at first, but then when they got pregnant, I said they were going to choose each other. So really, in this case, at this point, I'm 2 for 3 because I said Rhonda and Pat were not going to choose each other, but Jaylen and Josh were going to choose each other, and they were going to choose each other. So 2 for 3. Let's see how the rest play out. Now, Belinda and Chad, there is no scenario where they should be choosing each other. He was a garbage human to her, has an alcohol problem, and clearly can fly off the handle at any given moment. And she's kind of a meek and mild person, seems really nice, just wants to be happy. I get it. I hope she finds someone, but in this decision day, it should not have been a scenario where they chose each other.
Hang out with and do all the fun things with.
You can't do any of that. Well, you can hang out with him when he's a little tipsy because he's got a little alcohol in his system. But he's willing to fly off the handle. He doesn't really want to do anything he doesn't want to do, and he gets mad at just about everything. Never mind his drinking problem he has, which quite possibly he might have to plan things for that so he can have a little something here and there.
With an open mind and open heart. And I feel like I stayed true to that. I wanted to be patient enough to make things work.
I think she's done all of that. I think she did have an open heart and open mind. I think she was patient trying to make things work. She definitely was. She didn't storm out of the relationship. She definitely left conversations when he clearly was just being a dick about everything, but she did not storm out of the relationship. She tried to make it work. So everything she said there is accurate.
I need to find healthier ways to try to burn off some steam.
Yes,
and when I
that's
get
true.
back into a gym and I can be near my gym. And
okay, so talking about healthy ways to burn off some steam. Yes, alcohol is not a healthy way to burn off any kind of steam, which is what his go-to is. But him saying, I need to be able to get back in the gym and do this, these are things that take a commitment to be able to develop that habit, to not just stop doing it and actually use it as a therapeutic method. I'm a good example for this. The gym is like therapy. It really does help. It is not easy. Once you get out of it, like around the holidays, here we are, then what happens is it's difficult to get back in. You have to really commit. I don't think Chad's there. I think right now he's just blowing smoke, trying to save whatever he can because he knows that she's not in a good position right now. Trying to basically say, I'll do better, I promise, I'll do better. After, the person who gets into a fight all the time or yells all the time at his significant other or her significant other and then claims they're going to do better. That's what this seems like.
I know that if we're working on it, we can get through it. So, yes, I will stay married to you.
Oh, that's nice, except for the fact, if you see right there, what he did was he brought flowers, and then when it was getting to the point of deciding, he got on one knee, handed her the flowers, and talked about how much she means to him and all these things. This was completely manipulated. Whether this was an expert thing like the last one when it came to Rhonda and Pat, or whether this was just him doing this as a manipulative way to try to make sure she stays, either way, this was changing her decision. I don't buy for a second that after what she went through, she was going to say yes. I think this happened, then she was on the spot and she felt bad and kind of thought maybe this can work. And then guess what? She said yes. Does that mean that's going to be long term? It doesn't really make it seem like there's high hopes. But we will see. Maybe they're the ones that make it work. Either way, I'm 2 for 4 now because I said both old couples were going to say no. But alas, they decided to brave it out, I guess.
Makes me feel good, and I believe that both of us are in a place where we don't want to hurt each other.
Okay, well, just because he doesn't want to hurt you doesn't mean that he's not going to hurt you or do things that are a problem. Maybe he doesn't want to in the moment, but you haven't seen anything to suggest that he's going to change. He should have come there and said, I'm going to AA meetings 5 times a week. I've set up for an intensive outpatient program. And even then, you should have been skeptical because it's a long-term process that I don't think you want when you barely know this person. Now, Britney and Will, where we left that, Will called and said, hey, I'm going to say no, but we're going to decision day, and we're going to see how that changes. Going in, we think it's going to be a no. For them, I was a 50-50. I didn't really know one way or another what to decide with them, whether they were going to say yes or no, so we'll see if his mind is changed.
And then she said, well, no, love is passion for me. It seems like it's not passion. You don't love me. So she tries to compare.
That's true. That's true. That happened. So they were talking about why they love each other, and he explained what he said, and said protect her, make sure everything's okay, and everything like that. And then she basically said that's not love. So that was 100% true. He actually has some good reasons for why he would say no when he explains it.
You bring me so much joy. Like every time I'm around you.
This is one of those things where maybe she's thinking about how she shouldn't have been as harsh in certain times. Now, not harsh like she was mean, but she definitely got a little over emotional with certain communication things that probably didn't warrant it. And it was kind of several things over the course of the relationship that led him to get to that point. And now she's kind of regretting that, seeing, well, we had something good, or at least it seemed like it. So I get it. Sometimes, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Or the grass ain't always greener. All these phrases you can say that kind of make you think, okay, well, when something's gone, or you never know what you got until it's gone kind of thing, that doesn't mean that it's not genuine what she's saying. It really could be. Maybe she just didn't realize, or maybe she just didn't have that realization while they were together because she was too worried about it failing, which is possible as well.
Be more expressive and open yourself up.
So she was asking him to be someone different than he was. And that was the problem, is instead of being like, okay, I'm trying to get to know this person. We might have different communication styles, but if we're going to make it work, we're going to try to come together. We're going to compromise. She just wanted him to change, but never saw anything that she might need to do different. Now, that doesn't mean he shouldn't have met her in the middle somewhere. Maybe he should have, but she had the mindset of, you are doing something wrong, you need to change. And that was not the right way to go about it, because obviously it pushed him away.
What do you want to do?
I mean, I just need more time.
Everything that's been said, I need more time. So what does he do? He walks away and goes for a walk, because clearing your mind for 5 minutes is probably going to help.
And so, yes.
So he changed his mind. So we have another one. That's 3 that have changed their mind. It's not as clear with Belinda, but I'm pretty sure she changed her mind as well. 3. Now, if you don't think that there's some funny business going on here, maybe not with production, I don't know, but there definitely is some manipulation where people had a certain mindset and either the other person was manipulative. I don't really think Britney's case, it was really any kind of thing negative. I think Chad's was negative. I think the situation with Pat and Rhonda's was negative. I think Britney probably genuinely wanted to make it work. So I don't really think anything about that. But it's just interesting that this is the 3rd one that's changed on the spot. Does that really lend itself to longevity in a marriage if you were so sure going in and then you changed your mind? Not sure about that. So clearly we had 5 yeses. 5. Now, if you don't think that the odds of that are astronomical, I don't know what to tell you. So we had 5 people consummate within a day or two and 5 yeses. 3 of them definitely seem manipulated, but 5 nonetheless. So does that translate into long-term relationships? That is the question. Or does it all fall apart and we get worse than ever? Let's see in the reunion special. Always gets fun in these.
You got from Josh a ticket for Burning Man. Did you use it?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I got to see Josh.
Okay. She's like, I did the whole dress up thing. I, dressed up in skimpy clothes and everything, and I went to Burning Man. So she went to Burning Man. All right. So clearly she was trying to go about what he wants to do. That's good, because she seemed like she was pretty closed off to it. And he was pretty much like, if you don't go, then we're not going to make it kind of thing. But it's good that she was trying to do things he likes. So good for her for stepping out of her comfort zone. I mean, it kind of looks like a bunch of dirty people on ecstasy. Is this just a giant rave where people do drugs? I mean, that kind of seems like what Burning Man is. Like like hippie fest, like Woodstock, you know, the original Woodstock, only, you know, where they burn a statue or something. Kind of weird.
Jaylen and Josh, are you still married?
We are no longer together.
Wow. I mean, I'm not really surprised, and I'll tell you why. I mean, yes, I said that they were going to choose yes on decision day. However, throughout the season, one thing I've been saying, and one thing I've always said, is the couples that make it seem like they have it all together, that they really don't have many issues throughout, here and there, little bumps and things like that, but nothing major, that they're just like, they're the couple. They've been together for years, it seems like. They are always the ones that fall apart. And Jaylen and Josh are no different. They were the ones that seemed like right off the bat they hit it off, that they were going to be good forever, and they fell apart. Not surprising at all, but whose fault was it really?
Vacation, and he looked at me and he said, I don't feel connected to you anymore. I want to break up.
Damn, I don't feel connected to you anymore and I want to break up. My God, what was so bad, Josh? Really, let's see. Did she cheat on you? Did she steal your money? Was she a completely different person? Or are you just full of crap?
We get in the car and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm feeling really insecure from what's happened. I said, I don't know why you're acting so cold. He said, I'm not acting cold. I am cold. What? You need to pack your things tonight. It was 12 o'clock.
This conversation.
What? What? So apparently there was some sort of girl in a club that looked at him and he said he didn't know her, and then he got mad and stormed out and then said, you need to pack your stuff and get out tonight. Like this whole thing, at that point, if that's how it happened, like what she said, he was looking for a reason and she was trying to make it work and he was looking for a reason. This is crazy because what we're seeing here is basically someone who decided they just wanted to be single and then didn't want this whole, I don't know, married life, never mind with someone that seems like a decent person overall. And so you're going to try to sabotage it any way you can. And that's what it seems like Josh did.
About halfway home without a single word in the car. And she says, look, I get it. You don't want to be with me anymore. And I said, you are right. You should pack your things when we get home.
He's like, the way she said it didn't happen that way. What I said was, you need to pack your things when we get home. That's literally what she said, Josh. It's like he cannot justify what was said, so he's trying his hardest to reframe it just a little bit to make it a little bit better.
And he said that I'm a level 2 on the adventure scale, and he's a 10. I understand.
My God, what a piece of garbage. Holy crap, the roofer is a piece of garbage. Because now, when he's the one... Now, I wouldn't say that if all throughout this was a problem. He said it wasn't a problem. He made a point to say it wasn't a problem, that she didn't like all the things he did. And now, all of a sudden, he decided, I want you... Not just do it, because she's doing it. But you didn't seem like you liked it enough. So, you are a 2 on the adventure scale, and I'm a 10. You're a piece of... I mean, on the POS scale, you're a 10. I'll tell you that. Well, no, okay, not a 10, because that is basically reserved for the worst of the worst, not a 10. But you're high on the POS scale, that's for sure. Adventure scale, what kind of crap is that going to give you into long-term happiness? Nothing. Jumping out of planes and all, yeah, it's fun. Done it. It's a good time. Doesn't bring you long-term happiness like a family and someone to spend life with does. So you're going to be alone and you deserve it. No matter what person you date, you're not going to change unless you do some serious soul searching.
But I just realized that some of these things were so important to me that I wanted my partner to have that same love for them. And
the justification makes no sense because she did them. Now, it would have been much easier for him if she said, I'm not doing it. But no, she didn't. She did them. So now he's trying to say, I wanted to see her like him as much as me, and that was important to me, so now we're done. It's like, well, Josh, you're destined to be alone. You're a piece of garbage. And, yeah, have a nice life, buddy.
Belinda and Chad, are you still married?
No.
Shocker of all shockers. That lady dodged a big bullet. Thank God they're not together. I will say that because he's a piece of crap and he wasn't ready for any kind of relationship.
Drinking. There were times I'd wake up like at 2, 3 in the morning and I would actually go move the glass from his hand because I was afraid it might like fall and break.
Yeah, that's called having a drinking problem. And he was doing that every night. And his claim is he doesn't sleep, so he watches TV. That's his claim. You have an alcohol problem. He probably wakes up with the shakes. That's my guess, is he probably gets tremors. He's probably that bad if he's having to drink every single night.
Yelling, saying the dog was being aggressive, and I told him he's just a curious dog, and then he yelled at me and said that the dog was untrained and didn't know how to behave.
Look, any dog can be aggressive, sure. But having a golden doodle myself, I know that they're not, at least mine is more in terms of this one. Bark every now and again, will jump on you to play, but nothing crazy and is not aggressive. Now, like I said, any dog can be aggressive, but in this instance, his cat came out that no one had ever seen because his cat was aggressive, and then he got a little scratch or something and he flipped out. Forget about the dog, forget about the cat. That's an indication of Chad. He cannot contain his anger. He cannot take things in stride, and he has no patience. That is a bad combination for a relationship.
Necessarily the rational person that's dealing with what's going on. I was in a tailspin.
Excuse. I don't care. You signed up for this crap. You signed up for it. You signed up to be on camera. You signed up to Marry at First Sight. You signed up for all of that, and then you're going to claim I was in a tailspin. You should have walked away then. You should have walked away, said this isn't for me, instead of flipping out on camera and acting like a jackass.
At the end of the day, I don't think that this is anything that you guys can't work through.
That's up to her.
No, it's up to you. You've been the communication problem the whole time. You've been the anger problem. You've been the problem. It's up to you. It really is, to make that effort. She is making an effort, or she was.
If you want me to tell my side of the story, then shut up.
You have nothing to say.
Then let me tell my side of the story.
Go ahead. Kevin's just letting him just hang himself, because right now he's talking, let me tell my side of the story. Shut up. It's like, okay, go ahead. It's like, we got a million clips. I mean, you can argue that maybe they're taken out of context, but it's hard for you because you basically admitted I did all these things. I just was frustrated.
It's embarrassing to see yourself lose control like that.
Okay, so work on yourself. It's great saying this after the fact, but it doesn't sound like you've done anything to change anything.
State of your relationship with Britney?
There isn't one.
And there it is.
We haven't spoken in a long time.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I'm not surprised. He was going to say no, and then he was brought back in, and then, are you really shocked by that? So this is the third couple that is not together. There is no relationship between Britney and Will.
That's tough for me, too.
Don't want to be married to her, and then he ends up leaving, and it's kind of sad, I will say, because she's begging him to not go, basically, and why are you leaving? And then he still ends up leaving. Probably the best thing for them, because obviously they had a lot of issues, but it was kind of sad. I do feel bad for her. I think she could have done a lot of things different, but out of all the women in here, I think she was probably the one that really wanted to make it work the most. And there's a lot of issues with the guys too, but I wanted them to work, even though I didn't think they would.
Rhonda and Pat, are you still married?
No.
Thank the Lord Almighty he dodged a bullet when he finally grew a backbone, I guess. Good Lord. Thank God.
And it was just, I was so confused. I needed somebody to stand up and be a man and just say, this is what I want and this is what I need. And
yeah, you were never going to be okay with that. So basically what he says is there was no intimacy. They had, for however length of time, they weren't being intimate with each other. And then she's saying, well, I got to be turned on and he's not being a man. It's like every time he would say anything to you, you would beat him down. Now, he should have stood up and said, screw you, but not to maintain the relationship. He should have walked out a long time ago. But for you to claim you're not being intimate now because he wasn't standing up and being a man when he was trying to make the relationship work, that's crap. And you are, again, trying to justify your actions.
My switch just flipped off.
Yep.
And when it's off, it's off.
So she finally pushed him to the point of being just turned off. And then he's like, I'm done. At that point, I'm done. Most people say that. Like, once I get past that line or whatever, it's over. And he got pushed that line. He had a long way to go, too. I will say that. He dealt with a lot before he got to that point.
Did I slip up? Hell yeah, I did. But was I making the effort? I really was. I just didn't feel like it was being received.
It wasn't. She wasn't making any effort herself. Everything was everything you were doing wrong. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm glad he's out of it for sure.
I've learned to just more surrender.
You had no surrender. Give me a break. She's not going to change a damn thing if she gets in another relationship. Let's be honest. This is her trying to make it seem like she's learned something. She has not.
I had a miscarriage.
Oh, man. That's awful. Truly, regardless of the status of their relationship, that is awful. I'm sorry they dealt with that. That is an awful thing they had to deal with. And, it's something that would be really tough for anyone. And the fact that they were planning for that and then something so horrible happened, it's going to take a toll. It really is. So, heart goes out to him for sure.
I told Megan I didn't love her anymore.
Derek broke up with me over the phone and then moved out a week later, and I haven't seen him since.
Yeah, that's really bad. I mean, it also goes to show that it was just the pregnancy that was holding them together. Broke up with her over the phone. That's kind of a trash move, man. I mean, doing that kind of crap that's high school for real, and that's not good. And you know what? You got to do what's best if you don't think that person's the right one, but damn, you owed a face to face. I mean, God, that's garbage. That really is.
I don't think Derek's a bad person. I don't think that he handled it well.
And look, I will give her credit. At least for her, it seems like she's shown growth because she's saying he didn't handle it well, but I don't think he's a bad person. So good for her. The rest of them, I don't know about. It actually seems like she might have shown growth in this, and that's a good thing. Horrible the things they went through, but a good thing that she's grown.
You know, I've had some fabulous dates, you know, and people that I connect with. And this is going to sound like tit for tat, and I don't mean it to be by any means. I felt really seen on a lot of these dates.
Okay. I will say this is kind of a tit for tat thing. She's still mad, and I don't really blame her to be frustrated still, but to basically say I've been seen unlike I've was seen by him. He definitely throughout y'all's relationship was trying. He was the one remaining calm, cool, and collected when she was losing it and getting in anger and things like that before she got pregnant. So to say like I felt seen by these people, Derek was definitely trying and in there in the relationship. So I know you're frustrated, but no need for this. The madness was madness, that is for sure. So we ended up with 5 yeses on decision day and 5 couples who didn't make it. So the jury is in, and the 5 couples who consummated their marriage within a day or two was actually detrimental to the relationship. The science is ironclad on this. Oh my gosh. This is getting crazier and crazier by the season. They did announce season 20, so that's going to be coming out next year. Should be interesting. We'll see how that one plays out. But the last 3 seasons have not bode well for the experts. Get rid of Dr. Pepper, at least get someone else in there, and we will see if you do any better. But it was entertaining, I will say that. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share with your friends. I will see y'all next time.